Hey everyone, this is the Heroes podcast. I'm so happy to be back with Thomas Trautmann. How are you?
I'm doing great, Andre. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I really love your background. Well,
Thanks.
happy things. Before we jump into your story and the interview, I want to intro you so everyone knows who we are meeting here today. Uh, what we need to know about Thomas is a self-described happy tribes builder who first fostered community within his own family. Living in the south of France, ooh, I love it, on the picturesque coast, Thomas spends quality time with his patient wife, three sons, and a furry entourage of dogs, cats, and horses. Uh, he's been doing scientific studies in artificial intelligence, and he's an expert in that one too. Also, he has an engineering degree. I've seen him as an entrepreneur at heart. He's left the corporate world to start his own business. And several years ago, he became a certified neuro marketing instructor. I'm getting excited. And now he leverages the latest brain and decision making science to improve his clients' marketing, sales, and business strategies. Hmm. Now, through neuromarketing provided powerful insights, Thomas realized the field lacked humanity's smile. So he decided to share his knowledge with his clients through the book, and he's become the ethical persuader systems author. And the book has been released, Get More Money, Success and Followers. So we'll talk about that as well. And it looks like yeah, that's a mouthful. He's also become a 10x business coach with Grant Cardone. I love the 10x idea. So Thomas, that is a lot here, and I'm guessing that's not how it has all started. That you have become
Now,
this successful person. Do you want to take us back to the beginning, how life was for you in maybe early life, to your background?
uh, yeah, good question, Andre. Thanks. Nice introduction, by the way. Yeah, how did it start? Well, I I knew I think that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. You know, I had a dad who was a CEO, and that somehow triggered something, I guess. Maybe the need to prove that I'm as good as he thinks I am, whatever. uh, Long time ago, but I started with becoming a computer diploma engineer in France because I belong to the second wave of computer crazy guys, you know. First wave were the guys who founded Apple, Microsoft, and so on. And we came a few years later playing with computers that couldn't even draw a circle because they don't had enough memory to do so. So I started that way. I still wanted to have, you know, a nice base of bricks that could help me build my whole thing. Um, and so I joined companies like Robert Bosch, Hewlett Packard, stuff like that. And when I was at Robert Bosch, I extended my studies doing some artificial intelligence and algorithmics, which opened me the doors to my PhD studies in France. So I worked on artificial intelligence, especially artificial neural networks, which interestingly, 30 years later, became the backdoor engine for GPT and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool, but I didn't want to stay a scientist because I still had that I want one day to have my company, you know. So I went, that's when I joined HP. And at HP at that time, you could switch roles if you proved that you had it in you, maybe, I don't know, or you found the right manager. That was a chance in that company is that they had people like that. So that's when I moved to marketing. And I had to change all my jokes because I had many jokes as an engineer about marketing people, but I had to switch to marketing jokes about engineers. So that was the toughest part of it. uh, Moved to Ireland to work for AOL. And at that time, I was somehow running after money, you know, having a good position, making you a lot of money. Interestingly, I once made a little graph that I teach in one of my books about comparing happiness versus money versus title, something like that. In fact, each time I made a lot of money, I was super unhappy. So it's very interesting. And then I moved back to France at the time, working for Steelcase, which is an office furniture company. And so moving away from high tech completely. But the interesting part was in high tech, you always have something to tell about a feature. There is always a feature you can talk about. When it comes to office furniture, it's a different story because they hated me saying that, but it's a plank with four tubes screwed to it, and it's a table, it's a desk. But in fact, when you have to write a 20-page brochure, you have to tell a story. So that was very interesting because I somehow switched my brain to create stories, and that's also where I met my second wife, my wife, current wife, and we decided to found our first company. So finally, I was there, and we created that company, which was about high-end motorcycle tours. And yeah, I was working like an idiot. I didn't spend enough time with my family, and that's when I hit a big wall. I hit a really big wall at that time, and now I'm smiling about it. But I ended up on the beach because we were already living in the south of France. We moved to the south of France at that time, and I was lying on some rocks on the jetty, and I was crying, and I was crying, I think for 1 hour or so. So you have that big guy, who looks very efficient and so on, crying and crying because I was lost. I had no idea where I was going. 'Cause I don't know, I got confused. I got confused. And I met an interesting guy. He's an MD, a medical doctor here. And he was doing hypnotherapy, stuff like that. And I said, maybe should try that because I could do it on my own. I didn't want to bother my wife with that. So I had a talk with that guy. He tried to hypnotize me, and in fact, I was the only guy he never managed to hypnotize because he says you are thinking too much. Because I was analyzing everything he was doing, so he couldn't hypnotize me. But he said, Thomas, you reached an age where you had hard objectives. I want to have a wife. I want to have kids. I want to have that much money. I want to have a company. And now you have reached a stage that's what they call the 40-ish crisis. It's
Yeah.
when you reach all those hard objectives, and then you have to switch to soft objectives. I want my kids to be happy, to become great people. I want to enjoy life. And so there is no more a clear and precise objective in your life. And that was sort of a aha moment.
Wow. Can I ask you something? I've heard that you
Sure.
shared about, well, it was unhappiness, maybe unfulfillment from the story that you told us, or basically not hitting your happiness goal. How long did it take for you to go through this? I'm not saying agony, but this roller coaster ride of well, making money,
Yeah.
yet unhappy. What was it like? How many years?
It wasn't solved at that time because that would be too easy. I- And as the money situation wasn't great, I went back to my old demons, which was to get a job, CMO position in a Swiss company, which was very well paid. And again, I was miserable again. I was working for someone else. I was pissed, and my wife spent so much time with me on the phone complaining. I mean, she's an angel. She has a patience. I don't know how many people have such a patience. But then it was clear that that wasn't going to make it. So luckily, uh, I hired a company to help us with our marketing. It was about neuromarketing. And one day during the last workshop of the project, I said, guys, I want to join you. That's what I want to do. Because I mean, I'm so bored working with those Germans. It was a Swiss German company I was with, and I was unhappy. And they were, just thinking about it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. And and I had all the background they needed to get me to make me become a certified neuromarketing instructor and business partner. So that's where I started. That's what I did. Of course, money wasn't there yet because I had to create a whole business. But man, was it exciting. And in fact, I was providing people with answers about their brain, with how to make people grow their marketing, their strategy, and so on. So that was really excited. I was having fun. That's when I was having fun. Wasn't making that much money, but I was having fun. So the next step was to find a way to make the money as good as the fun. Because of course, I have a wife, kids, and so on. So you still need to provide, right? And even though my wife is patient, there was a limit to her patience, you know. So that was starting nicely, and one evening, because I was noticing that something was missing. Neuromarketing is super powerful, and I love it because it focuses on the human being. It puts the human being back into all that business thing and so on, because you target the brain to improve your marketing and sales. But the people who were sitting in the workshop were learning a lot about how to improve their company's marketing and sales. And it's really working. It's a two-digit growth each time you implement it. But having a conversation with my wife, the word humanity came out, you know. Neuromarketing is missing humanity. It's targeting the brain, but the people using it don't get something for themselves. So that's when I decided to create the ethical persuader system, which is all about helping you to get from the people you talk to the decisions you want, while you make them make the decision they need. Because you trigger the decision maker, and by doing that, you help them remove what is called a subconscious frustration. So since then, I'm helping people to learn how to drive decisions ethically, which, by the way, helps them improve their marketing, their sales, their strategy, and so on, and grow with two digits. So it's still working, but it's working better, and it makes me happy, and I help people. And that's also why I got certified with Grant Cardone, because it's all about helping people grow their business, change their mindset, you know, focus on, again, a hard target, which is their financial objective, and 10xing it and getting there, and voila. So, and I'm having fun.
That's very exciting. I was thinking, what would you say was the key factors for your breakout or the breakthrough from your old self struggling with, happiness or unhappiness to then to the new version of you?
Uh, I think it was understanding that I think you can make money by helping others and not just helping yourself. It has to start with yourself, because that's the starting point, right? But running after money only works if you run after people. If I make myself clear, it's nice to have a great job and brag about your salary, but it doesn't bring much, right? It's when you start to helping people, want deeply and sincerely want to help people, and my why, as I say to people, my why is to make the world smile. You know, because if when I smile, my brain gets a shoot of endorphin, makes my primal brain happy. Even if I make it consciously, I just made you smile. By doing that, your brain just got a shoot of endorphin, so it makes you happy. And if we start smiling, other people will smile, and maybe our children will have a world where everyone is going to smile. So that's why I'm doing things, you know. And when I'm in the street, I'm smiling. And one day, an old lady told me, "Wow, you have such a lovely smile. Not that many people smile." So yeah, we should smile, you know, make the world a better place.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. And tell me, like, what's happening if someone reaches out to you to, like, what's the typical? I mean, you mentioned before, what's the typical client that is coming to you, and then what are the first steps? Like, what do you do exactly if you want to share that? I understand that there is some smiles happening, but do you want to give us more?
Yeah, well, the first thing we do, and so it depends which coaching they want, because I'm doing mostly training and coaching.
Mm.
And my usual clients are business owners very often, because business owners have a shitty life, because when you are in trouble, you have no one to talk to, because you cannot share your trouble with your employees, because of course that's not what they expect from you. They want a direction. They want to see that you have everything under control, even though you are in total panic, or just pissed by some of your employees, you know. And If you're single, it's okay. If you are married, because very often I have married business owners working with me, uh, it's difficult to share at home, because same thing, your partner may already be stressed out, and you don't want to bring that additional stress and show that you are scared, that you are scared, because I mean, a lot of business owners are scared. They will never admit it, If you look at LinkedIn, we are all superheroes. We're all the best. We run fantastic businesses and so on. But I mean, uh, I guess I'm lucky because my clients, many become my friends. That's very interesting. And they call me sometimes just to say, Thomas, I need to talk to you. I need to share that with you because no one else listens to me. So I'm super happy to listen and help them because that's what I do now. And so we start with that. If it's more on the 10x side, we define an objective, a tangible, clear objective. And it's very impressive that even very successful business owners don't have their own personal financial objective. Huh? I want to make more. I want to retire with money and so on. How much? And when you ask the how much, you have a big blank. And very often the first thing that comes out is 1 million, because everyone wants to make a million, right? And then the 10x concept is we multiply it by 10 and then we go through the mathematics to generate that money and so on. Then we go to the mindset, all the actions to take. So yeah, and it's working. That's the most important part for the people, for your listeners. It's working.
Well, it's very exciting. And I know Grant Cardone, and I really love. I admit I listen to Grant Cardone's videos sometimes to get my ass kicked because because I need that voice. I need that voice that
Yeah.
hey, don't sit on your lukewarm results. And he has that type of how would I say tonality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I became a few months back one of his first three elite coaches in Europe. And elite coaches, we are around 30, 40 in the world. It means that we are coaching Grant's clients, the people who want to be coached by Grant. So there are very few people able to do that. And and yeah, it's interesting to see that what people want different type of coaches. And I usually get the ones who want someone who is straight. There is zero bullshit. And we are also coached, and I have a wristband that I'm wearing and that I gave also to my son, which says, "Don't be a little bitch." I even have a sweater that says that. And one day my coach told me that because I mean, being a business owner, running a business can be very exhausting, and you have those moments where you may have doubt, you may feel that you're not getting what you want because the results are not there and so on. But my coach told me one day I was really low. He said, Thomas, stop being a little bitch. Stop. So I said, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm stopping that. And since I have a sweater and so on, I'm using it on my mentees too. And one last day, say, oh, Thomas, I haven't moved forward. I haven't been to the gym. I have. Say, stop being a little bitch now, will you? Come on, move your ass. Do this, do that, and move it. Yes, okay. He was super happy. Now he's back on track. It happens to all of us. It's okay to feel exhausted, to feel tired, to have some lows. But when you have a clear objective, at least you know where you're going. And you know that when you're low, the next step will be bigger because you still have that bloody objective to reach.
Yeah, it sounds like to me you're hitting the big red reset button for people who are
Hmm.
losing themselves or their let's say empowered selves.
Yeah.
So what's motivating you now? What's inspiring you to be running your business?
It's my objective, first of all, because I have my own objective. I have a very high objective. I even made a bet with my 19-year-old son that I would be higher than him in 10 years because he wants also to found his business. I already told him, man, I'm way ahead of you. So I move your little butt. So yeah, and there is that excitement. When I give workshops, I said I'm the happy tribes builder. I like to get people together. I like people to learn something, to smile. I mean, when you want people to smile, I could have been an actor, I could have been a clown, I could have been whatever makes people smile. But I like to see them smile when they learn something, when there is that aha moment in their own mind, you know? And so I like to get people together in workshops, in trainings, and so on, in coaching sessions, where they aha, where I see they moved forward, and that's really what's driving me.
And I was wondering what languages are you working in? I understand you live in France, yet your name sounds German. We are
Well,
speaking,
I am German.
and we are
I have a
speaking
German passport. Yeah,
like
and
you,
so I speak fluently three languages: English, German, and French.
and you do your work in three languages. Is that right?
Yes. Today I'm coaching. In today I will be coaching in English and in French. And one day I did it to three, one after the other, one in three languages. That was quite challenging.
Wow. So you don't get mix up of words or
Oh, it
terms.
happens. It happens.
I can imagine. I'm only doing two languages mostly, although I speak Spanish. I do this in English and Hungarian, but I do get the occasional mix-ups.
Yeah.
And what would you say if, let's say, a business owner listening to us now is struggling, is not knowing how to enjoy going to their business, doing their work each day? Would you have a few tips? Would you have a few takeaways that they could start doing now?
Yeah. In my ethical persuasion formula, there are four parameters. The two in the middle are related to you as a person. The other ones are related to your clients. The first one, the most important one, is related to your clients. The second one also. But the two in the middle are very important. The first one is to know, who are you? Think about that. Who are you as a what makes you unique? What makes Andre different of Thomas, you know? So when you ask people, who are you? They say, "Oh, I'm Thomas. I'm sorry, but there are many Thomases in the world. And
Yeah.
Thomas is the first name that was given to you by your parents. It doesn't define who you are. Oh, then I'm Thomas Trautmann. Yeah, but there are Trautmanns, there are many also, you know? It's an inheritance of the past. Oh, so I'm a coach. Wow, there are many coaches, you know? And after COVID, there are even more coaches now. Everyone is a coach. So yeah, so you go that way, and you have to define who you are. And it took me ages to define that I'm the happy tribes builder. I need to get people together, give them something, and then let them leave, you know? And I'm very low each time I end the workshop because my tribe is going away. I need to create a new tribe, you know? My family is a tribe that's always there. My friends are my tribe, you know? But I create those tribes. And so, yeah, people have to know who they are, first of all. And the second thing is, why are you doing what you are doing? Really, deeply, sincerely, you know, candidly, honestly. So I told you, I'm doing this because I want people to smile. I need I need people to smile. It's nice to see people smile. It makes them happy. It shoots that enough in the brain and so on. So find who you are and why you are doing what you are doing.
What a powerful message. I remember I was talking to, well, it was a marketing expert from London, and he's helped me immensely. And he was able to tell me what I'm doing because I couldn't come up with this simple
Yeah.
message of, well, what I really love is changing minds, changing lives. That's what pretty much I love to do. And I
Yeah.
see those reflections and change of results
Uh,
and all of those things. But I needed a sounding board. I needed an expert in
yes.
marketing to help me with four words
Mhm.
to, to sum it up because I was too deep in my own
Yeah.
activities.
That's what someone once told me is the curse of experts like you, like me, is that we are so immersed in what we do that sometimes we forget the simple message. And if you take my new thing, make me great. I mean, I'm currently rebranding Happy Brains, right?
Okay.
Because because my problem is being an expert, I can tell you about the brain, I can tell you about ethical persuasion for hours, you know. But it's always that story of the cobbler who has the worst shoes, you know. It's when it comes, I have my clients. My clients have tremendous success. They have two-digit growth and so on, but I'm still struggling to do my own messaging clear and precisely. So I'm working with coaches who help me get that done. So, and the Make Me Great just came out 2 weeks ago and so on. It works so well because when you make your clients great, it makes you great. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely. I remember that. I think it was a Zig Ziglar quote. He said, yeah, if you have enough people to achieve their goals, then you certainly be able to achieve your own if you have your goals. And then that's a
Yeah.
big one again. Uh, so what is the best way to find you, to follow you? Is there a website that's
Yeah.
available?
Yeah.
Social media?
There is everything available. I'm a marketing guy. So there's everything. So the website is pretty easy. It's happy-brains.com because of course I make brains happy. You can find me as Thomas Trautmann on LinkedIn. There are more Thomas Trautmann, but the only one who is bald with a brain close to him, that's me.
Okay,
And it's the same thing on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, on wherever you want.
wonderful. Uh, so what do you think? What did I not ask that is important, Thomas, that you would have wanted to share in this interview, yet I didn't ask specifically?
Well, the question we're pretty okay. What I would like to say is start focusing on yourself. You know, it starts with you. My former original sentence was it all starts in your brain, and the brain is a super self-centered device. It cares about one human being on earth. It's yourself. So care about yourself, you know? Refocus on yourself. Know who you are, really know who you are. And you will see when you know who you are and why you do things, if you're unhappy, then you will see that your why is not in sync with what you are doing. It may be scary because it may show you that the bloody wonderful career you have and all the money you make is not your why. And
Hmm.
then then you have to put your on the table, your cojones on the table, and say, okay, I'm switching now. I'm switching.
Wow, that's a powerful notion for a lot of people. I see that at the age of 35, 45, 55, where people have been doing something,
Mm,
obviously programming they had from the past,
yes.
that making them okay money, they are positioned well, even they have a career. It's such a difficult, well, idea
Yeah.
to even
Yeah.
face the mirror and say, hmm, I was doing this, I am, I've been making money, and
Mm,
this is definitely not who I am. It's definitely not what I want to do. And I wanted to share this. I've been to a school anniversary with my secondary school. I met 23 people, and
mm.
the general, I think 30% of them shared their experiences. And you know what they told me? They said to me, well, I know I'm not doing my soul's purpose.
Mm.
And I looked around how I could shift and change to doing things that I would love to do, but I realized I would have to start from step one, and I would have had to give away, I don't know, 50% of my salary, 60% of my salary.
Yeah.
So I decided to just stay doing this because this is safe, and I'm waiting for retirement. How
Nice.
would you say?
Yeah, no, and I think 80% of people are in that situation. And some, you know, the brain doesn't like change. So people can be unhappy their whole life, They know it. They don't feel well. They swim in the shit every day, you know, not even with a smile, but it's what their brain knows. And what's on the other side of the door, I have no clue. It's fucking scary. But sorry, excuse my French. But everything that scares you, you should do it because that's where you're going to learn something. It may not be what you want, but at least you have tried it, you know. And I prefer to die saying at least I have tried, you know, than saying yeah, well, it was a shitty life, but I survived. You know, it was okay. Well, I don't want okay. I want great. I want my kids. I mean, before the interview, we were talking about how teenagers at the moment are, yeah, are not great decision makers or whatever. But shit, I want my kids to learn that, you know, to become great people, to experience life, to yes, they will fall flat on their face, but that's how you learn, you know. I'm sorry, you know, there are people who say, no, you should not because you have to be happy all the time. No, you have to hurt. You have to learn, you know. That's how the human species move forward. Someone learned and someone taught us maybe you should not jump out of the plane without a parachute. It's a bad idea. Okay, but someone tried to jump from a rock from a cliff and hurt himself. So, oh, that's at that height, it's dangerous. Use something to slow the speed, you know? But try it. At least go try it. Until you are dead, you can try. I mean, I see people. I just had an interview with a guy on my podcast. He is close to be 80. He will be 80 in August. On his birthday day, he has planned already. He's going to skydive in the morning and to do river rafting in the afternoon because he never did it before. So he's going to try. That guy has a crazy life, and still at 80, he's going to go try things he hasn't tried. So do that.
Would
And
you
if you're a business owner, you are on that track already. So it's time to get back to what made you a business owner, you know, because you had what it takes to that craziness, you know, to let everything go. And because entrepreneur is someone who generates money, whatever he does, you know. But you had that crazy moment where I said, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to be a business owner, you know, and then you lost yourself. So get back to that crazy person and
I love it.
try.
Would you connect me with him? I would love to have a chat and maybe have his story. But a
Yeah.
question to you is what would you say? Where would you be in 5 years' time? Like if things went really well for you, Thomas,
Yes.
how do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years' time?
Yeah, 5 years time, I'm still doing what I'm doing, but with more and more people around me to help more and more people. That definitely is the idea. Ethical persuasion is something that people start to use massively because it gets them more results in a more ethical way. Because I think we have reached a level where ethics have been lost. And ethics for yourself first. Be ethical for yourself, towards yourself first, and towards others. It's not going to get you results in the first seconds. It takes time because human relationships take time, you know. It's stop thinking that everything happens over the night. So I want people to understand that in 5 years, well, my oldest son has, my 19-year-old son has started his business. He understands that it's a nice way to do things. The two other ones get the idea that whatever their dream is, they can achieve it and they should go for it. And my wife and I are still happy and we have a thriving business and we have moved somewhere else because we like that.
So where would that be next?
The plan will be the US at the moment, yeah, because I think there is a lot more opportunities there than in the currently dying Europe.
I agree. I was looking at US as well, and I did apply for a DV visa just last November.
Nice.
Yeah, every November or October you can apply. It's free if they accept
And
you.
that's for the lottery?
There's no lottery anymore. There is, they call it DV visa, and then they give you about a year and a half to sort of pick you out of the blackouts, so to speak. And if they invite you, then you need to submit all of the paperwork, and it takes about 1.5 years to kind of
Okay.
go through. But I was really wanted to look at all of the national parks and speak on stages. And also I'll be able to connect you with another group, Thomas, that you might be interested in, that I'm working with, who are helping speakers on university stages in the US. So I'm glad that we have this recorded, because then maybe others are excited. I have maybe one last question to you, and maybe that's speaking to the next generation. And I have 16 and a 12-year-old, and what we see as they are not, the word I would use, they are not driven. And obviously, as you said, they are not decision makers because there's sometimes not enough mojo, there's not enough keenness behind it. What would you say, what parents we could do to inspire them to then go for it and to really expose themselves?
Yeah.
To live life to the full? Help me.
It's a difficult one, and I'm facing it with my 19-year-old one for 2-3 years now. Because in France, when you're 16, you have to already decide what type of studies you want to make and so on, which is ridiculous because at 16. Well, I was lucky enough to know because the computers were my passion at that time. But a lot have no clue what they want to do. It's too early, you know. But I'm working hard with him on his objective, you know. It was really, I mean, we had very long conversations about the objective and so on. And he's always taking as an example his best friend. His dad is a doctor, an MD, and he has nice luxury cars and so on. But we made a calculation with my son, and I demonstrate to my son that in fact his dad will never be a millionaire, because as a doctor he can only see so many patients per day, you know, and he makes so much euros per patient per day. So he's stuck at the limit. I said, that's not being wealthy, you know. He may be rich, but he's not wealthy. And what you want, my son, is to be wealthy. For that, you need an objective. What do you want to do? So that I know that I don't want to work for someone. So, okay, so you want to be an entrepreneur. Welcome to my world, my son, you know? And I always thought that he is not, but yeah, maybe he's not proud of his dad because he didn't say anything, you know? But recently he told me, no, Dad, I'm so proud of you. I don't know how you manage to do all what you do, because I'm running 3 businesses. I have 3 different activities. So I have no clue how you do that. So because I have an objective, my son, you know, we need to define your objective. That's why I said, yeah, I want to have a great life. I want to be able to do this and this and that. Okay, so let's put money on that. How much is that going to cost you? So it costs you that much. As an entrepreneur, because of taxes and so on, you need to do twice as much. Then he went green, you know, blank, white, starting to shake. And to do that, you need to do this, this, this. So your first objective is you have to make that much money on your first business. And then you have to make that much in 10 years. And that's what he said. And I bet you, my son, that I'm going to make it faster than you. We shake hands, but I'm moving forward and he's still wondering where he's sitting. So it's definitely, it's important to have them have an objective, because that's driving everyone, you know. See, my wife is also a business owner. I mean, it's a sickness in the family. I don't know why. But the same thing, she was floating around. She, you know, so I coached her. I'm still coaching her to define a precise objective, you know. What do you want? Let's make it tangible. Yeah, I want to help people. Cool. How many people? How much money is that going to make? How much money do you want to have? So I want to make that much. Okay. How much people? It's blah, blah, blah. So we do the whole thing. Once you have a tangible objective, being happy is not tangible. You cannot define it. You cannot have a grasp on it. I want to make, what's make me happy is 500K. Let's see how you can make 500K. I mean, it sounds very basic to talk about money, but I'm sorry, money is still running the world, and you need money to survive. Or if being happy is to be in an ashram somewhere in India, go to India, make it your objective, you know? Get there, get to that ashram, live there, but at least have a tangible objective and help your kids to have that objective.
That's powerful. I guess there's also one additional thing, that probably live what you teach. So
Oh yeah,
it's not just empty.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you can only drive people if you are ahead of them. I mean, if you want to be an entrepreneur and someone tells you who's never been an entrepreneur or a business owner, you should not, it's dangerous. Say thank you, push them aside. Only get advice from people who have done it, who have tried it, who have succeeded, you know. Your family, they are nice people, they want you to help you, but their brain is scared. So they just share their fear with you. Don't listen to that fear.
Thomas, thank you very much for your time. It's been absolutely good.
Welcome.
I'll share this with my son. He might not listen to me, but I hope with that background, the happy brain, he's going to really look what you say. And I hope to see you again. Thank you very much.
It will be a real pleasure, Andre. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
All right. See you soon.
Bye bye.